The academic study of leadership has failed. The reason it's failed is because of the way the academics define leadership. They always define leadership in terms of who's in charge, as in the leadership team, right? As in, back to what I said at the beginning, if you're in charge, by definition, you're a leader, which is simply not true. So I published a paper a couple years ago with Rob Kaiser in the American Psychologist. We did a content analysis of the leadership literature, and what we showed is in over 80% of the cases in the articles, leadership is defined in terms of who's in charge. Okay, so ask yourself, who gets to be in charge of large, hierarchical, bureaucratic, male-dominated organizations? Politicians. It's not the least, I mean, it's who may occasionally show some talent for leadership, but leadership is not part of the game. It's all about politics. Who climbs the hierarchy? It's just a political scuffle from day one. So, so who gets to the top of Disney? Who gets to the top of GE? Who gets to the top of Ford? Depends entirely on the dynamics of the board. The board of money, it's all money and ego at the level of the board. They have their own agendas, and they're looking at these candidates, these CEO candidates, and they're saying, that one is going to support my agenda at the level of the board. That's the one I want. And they hire them with absolutely no attention whatsoever to their leadership talents. And so think about, was that guy Michael Eisner was the failed CEO of Disney. He was a kind of a paranoid, obsessive, compulsive control freak who got fired. And then he was replaced by Robert Iger, who is this very smooth, cool guy who pays a lot of attention to interpersonal relations and handles clients and really well. What do those two guys have in common? Absolutely nothing, except that at some point in time a board said, we want you as CEO. So if you define leadership in terms of who's in charge, those guys don't have anything in common. They're just there doing the accidental survival of this political match race where the board makes a decision. Do you understand what I'm saying? So, full stop. So that's why the academic study of leadership has failed, because they define leadership incorrectly.